So we'll move on to our second question about community safety, and candidate Bas will respond to this one first. The second question is, how will you work with wide-ranging community stakeholder needs around public safety to ensure responsiveness after a crime has happened? For example, survivor support and follow-up, investigative resources that focus on the targeted task of bringing individuals who have committed violent crimes off the street, restorative justice, or re-engagement with the community.
Thank you for that question. One of the things that I think is really important is stopping violence before it happens. That means having violence interrupters in our communities, community outreach workers, gender-based specialists. And we've also been able in the city of Oakland to expand restorative justice, including with young people. That's not only through our Department of Violence Prevention investments, but also through the Oakland Fund for Children and Youth, which I reauthorized 2 years ago. I want to give you an example. Part of my district also includes the San Antonio neighborhood, as well as here in Chinatown. And many people have reached out to me after violence has happened for help. I want to quickly shout out the Asian Health Services because they are providing trauma-informed victim support together with Youth Alive and a host of other organizations. And in San Antonio, when someone reached out to me after there was a shooting and there was a family member in the hospital, they didn't know what to do. And because we have more resources here in Oakland, I was able to connect them with one of our service providers who was able to find a Vietnamese speaking translator to work with the victim's mom and help her understand what was happening at the hospital, to work with the young woman who was his girlfriend who witnessed the trauma. And so they have been able to navigate with case management, victim support. They've been able to access resources and also deal with the trauma through mental health services. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Candidate Lowe, it's your time. Sure. How will you work with wide-ranging community stakeholder needs around public safety to ensure responsiveness after a crime has happened? Some examples are survivor support and follow-up, investigative resources that focus on the targeted task of bringing individuals who have committed violent crimes off the street, restorative justice, and engagement with the community.
I believe that the first aspect of working with people after a crime has been committed is to do our best to make sure that crimes don't happen in the first place. The reason why I joined this race, I know San Antonio. I had a brother who was killed at 8 years old in the neighborhood near the park. I understand the challenges that people have with violence in this community. 6 months ago, I was attacked crossing the street over here in my car. I understand that this community has been preyed upon and we don't have the services to meet your mental health and your emotional health and your physical health. I was here with the Rotary Club about 4 or 5 months ago where we were passing out alarms to many of you to make sure that you were protected in the community. When we talk about stakeholders, the thing that I find very interesting is that we've never talked about those religious communities, those cultural institutions that we need to support. We have to make sure that they're part of the healing. You know, growing up here and having different multicultural experiences in my background, I want to make sure that we have healing, and the organizations that we've discussed really aren't speaking to that. The $17 million that was removed from the police force was placed into some of these organizations. I think that there's a stark contrast in how we see protecting people. I think the money should go back to the police force. I think that you need to be protected by using neighborhood crime prevention councils. Sorry.
Thank you. So the next